So if you're running advertising to your business, but you feel like the ads are not performing as well as you would hope, chances are you don't have an ad problem, you have an offer problem. And so as an example, I have a client who they were running a 10% off intro to new customers type thing. And so these were their metrics. This is just a spend a day, right? So they're getting pretty good frequency. Their CPM is a little touch high, but it's not too bad. But their unique click-through rate is just crushing it. But, if we look down at their results, they're not getting the results they wanted. And so we're not making back the money they would want. And, some people might argue, well, it's because, this is just average. You have an average conversion rate. But I would argue they don't have a problem with their ads, they have a problem with their offer. For them specifically, what we're doing is instead of a 10% off, we're launching this whole campaign around buy one, get one, and they're raising their prices to do so, but they're going to be profitable as they get new customers, and then they're going to warm them up and continue to nurture them over their lifetime. And so I say this to say, you might not have a problem with your ads at all. It may just be a problem with the offer you're presenting to new customers. And so in this video, I want to break down how you can actually build a crushing offer that just kills it for your ecom brand or selling online, that gets you new customers, that doesn't cost you a lot, you're still profitable per customer, and it'll make you happy because you make more money. So let's get into it. So really quick, before we get into the meat and bones, I just want to talk about overall high level frame, and then we'll go into specifics on how you can build your offer and then insights that I have for 2026. I only think there's so many ways you can get new customers, inbound with your personal brand, so you as a person, organic, which is your brand social media, funnels, affiliates, UGC. And I don't mean like paying for UGC, but more like customer reviews or people making organic content for you without you asking. And lastly, marketplaces. And this is stuff like Amazon, eBay, where they naturally give you traffic. As an example, Adidas, the shoe company, they sell a ton on eBay, and so it's fascinating. And so in terms of outbound, I'm defining this as you are actively putting in some amount of work or money in order to go and get new customers. And so this is paid ads, influencer partnerships where you pay to sponsor a post or a video, portion of a video. Revenue architecture. Revenue to architecture is something we use in Hoshino Media. It basically is email and SMS, but done to such a personalized degree. I highly think that in 2026 and beyond, the more personalized you can get with your customers, the more they're going to buy from you, the more they're going to respect you, the more they're going to latch onto your brand. As an example, say you're a jewelry company and you sell 4 categories, right? You sell bracelets, necklaces, rings, and earrings. If someone signs up for your email, they don't necessarily want to see everything. They might, but chances are they're there for something very specific. And so we've done this cool thing where we use secret surveys. It's basically where you have specific data in your emails and SMS where when a user clicks, it logs that to their account and says, oh, they're actually really interested in earrings. And so, and they may be very interested in this particular set of earrings. And so in the future, whenever we send them marketing, we want to send them stuff for earrings specifically. And so that way the customer gets a very personalized experience. They feel like, oh, this thing I was looking at, I feel like this company shows me it and it makes me want it more. And finally, for outbound, I see people do DMs. I've seen people do everything from manually send all their followers something to like starting conversations to using like many chat automations, right? And so these are ways that you can get new customers through outbound methods. And finally, you want to retain your customers that you have. Revenue architecture, like we said before, is a great way to do so. You can also use subscriptions, like say you sell facial washes or skincare, right? There's a subscription that people buy every month. Or loyalty programs, where if people buy from you a certain number of times, they get upgraded to a certain level or get some sort of perks. And finally, community and VIP. And I think this is really big moving forward because people, when they buy from a brand, they might come for different reasons, like they need it or they think it's really cool. But over time, to win customers, you really have to show who you are as a brand, and they will cling to your values. And so I've seen everything from something small, like a Discord server, to, some of the biggest companies in the world, like LTK did their own conference. Spotify has all these pop-ups and frequently sponsor different events, right? It's just building a sense of community and inclusion for your customers. So let's actually now dig into your paid ads and how to build an offer for them. And granted, you can use your offer for any of the chart, right, for your intro offer, but it'll go crazy if you have some paid traffic behind it. And so I define a successful ad as having 5 components, 3 of which I think are super important. Landing page and revenue architecture. These are to really secure the sale. And so sometimes the customer will get to you, they're not sure if they want to buy it, but the landing page convinces them, or they get your emails afterwards or their SMS afterwards. And it's so personalized, it's so well done that they buy from you later. But really, just for cold traffic, in order for your ads to be successful, they'll be dictated by how good your products are. So you have quality products and people say they're quality products. How good your ads are, which is your creatives and your images and your videos that you're running. And lastly, how good your offer is. And so we'll just define an offer as why should someone buy from you? And let's look at some examples before we actually dig into how to build one. And so these are all offers that have been running for over 90 days. And the cool thing is, if you know an offer has been running for over 90 days, then it can't be a bad ad. It can't be a bad offer. Because if the ad is unprofitable, they'll turn it off, right? So these guys do deodorant, so save 40% and get 2 free items. This one, Evie's clothing boxes, sale now, 9 vintage tees for 99 pounds. So you get 9 shirts for essentially 100 pounds. Magic brush, buy one, get one free, ends today, but it's been running since September 13th, 2025. So, clearly some marketing going on. This is another price anchor, a favorite for just $5. Best bracelet ever, just $5. Holiday sale, first order up to 50% off. 20% off using code IRON20. And then lastly, this clothing company has a buy 2, get 1 free. And so, the interesting thing is, like, as I was looking at these, as someone who builds creatives for myself and my clients, a lot of these I was like, I don't really like how they look. I think they look a little ugly, or I didn't think they would perform so well. But the offer is so good that the ad stays running. That's the power of a good offer, is where, even if your ad doesn't perform well, your offer can still crush and bring people in. And so now let's talk about how to build one. I have 4 pillars. We'll go through them one by one. But first, you got to think about your offer type, right? Like, why would someone care, or why should they convert? And so I've just listed some of the most common ones that I've seen or that I've built for clients. So bundle, if you buy X, you get Y. Whether this is a free gift or whether it's 20% off, fill in the blank. A version of this is a threshold, where if you spend a certain dollar amount, you get the same thing, whether it's 10% off or some sort of free gift or free shipping. Although I think free shipping is not a good enough offer, but it just sweetens the deal. Subscription starter, so you get your first month for like $10 or $30. This is great, again, if you have a subscription product. Buy one, get one, whether it's get one free, get one half off, buy 2, get one free, you can play with it. Buy one, get a free gift, something. Tiered discounts. So you see this a lot with big clothing brands, right? You get $10 off if you spend $50 with us, or if you spend $100, you get $25. And usually the discount gets better and better as you go up the tiers. Curator's kit. So think like, this is something that is quintessential our brand. We think you should get this. And it has these 5 items. Normally it costs you $150. If you buy this, you'll get it at $80, right? And so showing them the best of your products for a lower price. And finally, price anchoring. What these people did, where it's just $5 or 99 pounds, where you offer value, but you tie it to a price that is like very different than what someone would expect to pay. Right? For 9 shirts, I might expect to pay 200 pounds, but now I'm paying 100. And so it makes it more valuable because of the price anchoring. So these are the offers you can run. These are the incentives you can do. And so I've kind of talked about them, but free product or free gift, a dollar discount, a percentage discount, which is better if you're selling more expensive items. So for example, 10% off a $30 pair of shorts doesn't matter that much. It all honestly barely covers shipping and handling, versus 10% off a bag that's $300. Suddenly a little bit more enticing. early access, so you can do a VIP or a drop, free shipping. Again, usually not enough, but you use it to sweeten the deal. And then I think this is really important and people tend to overlook it, but how do people get your discount? Is it auto applied at checkout? Are you using a discount code? I think this is great if you're having multiple affiliates or influencers where you need to track people. And so like one of my clients, they have like 200 ambassadors or something. And so they have a unique discount code for each one. So we can track which one does the best and go from there. Post-purchase upsells. So after someone buys, maybe you give them, hey, you know, we want to give you a free gift as a thank you, or we want to give you 10% off your next order, something like that. Quantity breaks. So you buy a certain threshold. Mystery gift, limited time or quantity using scarcity. So like, hey, you know, this is our limited time buy one, get one, but you can only get it for the next 24 hours, you know, buy one, get one free ends today. Or like a gift with purchase. And so these are all things you can do to build your offer. But I think it's also really important to evaluate how well it does. And so in order to do that, you can ask yourself these questions. Did your AOV increase? Did people spend more money with you on average than if they would buy independently? That's very important. Did your conversion rate increase? And if so, by how much? You know, if we went from a 1% conversion rate to 3%, like, hey, that was pretty good. Your offer is probably crushing. Is your contribution margin still positive? Contribution margin is a stat that we use a lot at Hoshino Media. It basically talks about how profitable you are. So think net sales minus your cost of goods, minus shipping, minus advertising costs. Are you still positive? If so, by how much? Did this lower your cost of acquisition? You know, if you normally spend $30 to get a new customer, are you now spending $10? Or did it actually raise it? And so, hey, maybe this isn't such a good offer. Did it have impact to your customer LTV? And this is important, and I mean this both like a positive and a negative way. Because if you're a brand that continues to run discount after discount, it almost trains your audience to only buy from you when you have a discount. And so if you see customer LTV lower over time, like that's a problem. But if you see this discount to bring people in is really, really good, and you actually generate more per customer on the back end. Say it costs you $30 to bring someone in, they buy a product for $30, you're making no money. But if they make $250, like, hey, that might be super worth it. And finally, is this clearing out the inventory you want to clear? Because, you know, sometimes you run offers for inventory that you don't want to keep around. Is it doing its job? I hope this is helpful, but I just have a few insights for you in creating offers for your ads. So in 2026, trust is at an all-time low. And so, you know, these things will all just help your offers go better. If you have a personal brand, it'll help your offers succeed. If you work to build community in your ads, you know, if you click on your ad and there are a ton of comments on your ads and people are like, hey, you know, this is an ad, but I bought the product. I'm not sponsored. I'm just a regular person and I love it. You know, this is why it has changed my life in these ways. You know, or you have a strong social media presence or even an offline presence where you hang out with your community, whether it's Discord or something else, right? Like people see that. People like that. It'll help your ads perform better. It'll help your offer perform better. And that's branding, right? These ads and these offers are all direct response, but over time you want to spend time building your brand as well. And so branding is very long-term. It shows who you are, what you value, what you stand for. And then eventually, you know, you run that alongside direct response where you tell people to buy. And so you get short-term sales, but also long-term sales as you build brand. And just as an example of these, you know, we looked at Shopify or LTK earlier, but same with like Google and Samsung. You know, they're doing phones where they have such incredible brands that you're like, wow, and they run advertisement to show what they're building, what they're thinking through. But at the same time, they run direct response where you can get, you know, trade in your phone and you get the Samsung whatever 26 for free, right? These are all things that the biggest brands do. And so for you, if you really want your brand to succeed in the long run, you have to be doing your personal brand. You have to be doing your online brand for your store. You can't just be a single founder who never posts. That won't cut it. It'll only take you so far. Second thing, I mentioned this earlier, but if you have really strong revenue architecture and a high LTV, it is worth it to acquire a customer at cost. Again, if you're paying $40 to get a new customer, they spend $40, you make zero. But if they buy from you again and again and again, and to the point they're worth $150 to you over time, hey, that's very much worth it. And I would spend more money to run that offer because you can afford to get new customers in the door. What is in it for the community? And so I see this a lot where brands will run ads. And so, in a two-party system, brand runs ads, customer buys product. And who wins? The brand, because they get money. And, they get some sort of deal maybe, but really it's like that. In a three-party system where it's a brand and an influencer or a creator, and then the audience, right? The brand wins because they get sales. The creator wins because they get to monetize their audience. But often the community doesn't really get anything that beneficial. Some really cool examples I've seen of building community and giving them, like rewards or alignment is having them be a part of shaping your future, where they get direct insight. Everyone says VIP, but like really using it, saying like, hey, we want your feedback on products and how to build our company. What are things that you value? What do you care about? How do we go after it? How do we build it together? Or U2s, they sell figurines and plushies for creators. And so in that system, U2s makes money, the creator gets to monetize their audience, but their audience feels like they're a part of something bigger. They get this limited edition figurine and they feel like, hey, I'm a part of this thing that's bigger than me. And they feel more affinity to both U2s and the creator. And so think about alignment, like what is in it for the audience that you're running things for? Is it just the, the offer? Or is there something else at play, like something about the environment or something about giving back? So just think about that a little bit. And lastly, I just want to sign off with, I often see people hesitant to run ads. They're like, hey, I don't know if I can support this. I don't know if I can make it work. But really, I just want to say the braver the founder is, the faster the company will grow. And the faster you grow, the less likely it is that you will fall apart and never make it as a brand. Take the risk, learn the skills, run ads, build great offers, and you will grow quickly. Last plug, here at Hoshino Media, we do all these things for brands. We run their ads, we do the revenue architecture, we help them think through their organic and their marketplaces and their UGC. And if you're like, this is something really cool, but I don't know if I can do it alone or I don't want to do it alone, hey, feel free to book a call and we can figure out how to help you and help you grow your brand. If there's a specific thing that you're really interested about, say you want me to talk more about revenue architecture or personal brand, leave a comment down below and we'll get to it. Thank you so much. Let me know if you have any questions down below in the comments. If you want this board, this Figma, I will link it down below and so you can get it there as well. So take care, run some great offers, and the sky's the limit. Peace.